All right, everybody, I'm here and I hope everything is working. It looks like it is. All right, so we're now just about running live, just kind of testing things a little bit. I believe everything is on. If not, I'll have to sign back out. But I think everything is working right now. So, welcome to Clear Blue Radiance. And I am your host, Brother Francis Revels-Bey. We're having some issues already. Okay. All right. So I'm here opening up, just testing everything before we go live, which will be in another minute. We're live now. As people come on, I would hope that people would let me know if they can hear me or not. I'm going to bring up my program and let's see if I'm being heard. And I think I will be. For those of you who might be tuned in, let me know that you can hear me. Anyway, I'm just going to start talking here and hope to see everything functioning live right now. Again, I'm here for Resident Essentials, which is a spiritual, metaphysical, esoteric school here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And okay, I understand it is picking up my voice. So today's topic is, who do you feel like being right now? Every feeling we have is a key element of our remembrance. So before I start getting into this, I've been a spiritual counselor for over 45 years. I enjoy helping people such as yourself gain greater clarity in your life and discover your purpose, or if you have your purpose and you know what it is, to help you redefine your purpose. We all have a purpose, and it does change as we evolve in our consciousness, in our life, how we are choosing to live our life, how we are embracing our life. So we are all seeking at some point, we're all seeking change and how we can go about that change. But today's particular topic is thinking back a little bit when we were children. One of the things, if you remember growing up, depending on where you were growing up, what kind of adults were around you, you probably asked a lot of questions. I know I was. People would ask me, and these were relatives, my parents' friends in the neighborhood, some of my dad's clients, they would ask me, Francis, what do you want to be when you grow up? So you're asking me as a 5-year-old child, or an 8-year-old child, or a 10 or a 12-year-old child, asking, what do you want to be when you grow up? And usually those questions would be answered, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a farmer. I want to be a professional athlete. I want to be a well known actor. I want to be an artist. And again, as I said, depending on where you are living, depending on the kind of family you're born into, that you choose to be born into. We don't remember that. At least most of us that are in our 70s didn't know that, what people know today. But we often we're always going back, trying to figure out who we are. And if we had good role models, if we saw our parents as role models, or Mr. Jones down the street as a role model, or maybe we had some school teachers that were okay with us and that were spurring us on from grade school to middle school to high school to college to university. But often we didn't know what we wanted to do or to be. Our parents were providing us food, shelter, clothing, right? Shelter meaning a roof over your head, hopefully a safe place, that was your domain, that was your parents' castle. That's where you lived with your parents and siblings, if you had siblings, and if you had any fur babies, they were in there, or any bunnies, rabbits, or if you had birds, you name it. What, you were a cohesive family unit in most cases. Some didn't have that. Some didn't have consistency. But many of the neighbors were well connected, close enough where they could look out for each other's son or daughter if a parent had an emergency, or if a parent was coming home late, that you as the child could go to that uh, child's house and be served dinner, or just have some refreshments after school. Then your parents would come by and pick you up, or your older sibling would walk over and get you. There was always some kind of changes going on around us. But as a child, you're thinking of the one thing that you are dreaming about, that you are envisioning. You're seeing yourself wanting to be. In my case, a well known artist growing up, even though I had no idea what that picture would look like, because there were plenty of people around who were artists, but I just saw them locally in the community. They were probably teachers. I didn't see them doing anything else. So, your scope is limited when you have limited visions, limited views around you. Well, you say, I want to be a musician like the musicians and the singers and the dancers you see on TV. But often you don't see it enough around you. You don't know how to make that leap from where you are as the child to one who could train, to one who could be on stage or be in an athletic arena. It's the same if you had this desire to be a doctor, but you saw doctors on TV, in movies. You didn't have a clue of how to get there unless you were fortunate enough to have adults along the way that could guide you. So often when we're children, we're thinking, not all of us were thinking about being popular. I just wanted to be an artist. If you ask me about sports, I wanted to be like Jim Brown, the football player who grew up on Long Island, the late Jim Brown, who played for the Cleveland Browns. We had limited role models as children. And sometimes this continued on throughout our life, having limited possibilities, limited positive events. But if you had the right kind of parents, they could part the seas. They could guide you, help guide you, take you to the next circle of their friends who could put you in a completely different spotlight, a completely different stage, so that you could grow, so that you could have the experience. Not every child is meant to be a professional athlete, because they will tell you the professional athletes, they're like a one in a million. Not everybody makes it into professional football, because professional football, they didn't have a farm team. They just had take them from college sports, university sports, to the big leagues. They had to try out. But all those professional football athletes, all those professional baseball, hockey, basketball, those people, the majority of those people were once in college, once in high school, once in grade school. So they had an opportunity, if they worked hard enough, to be in a certain position. Maybe you came from a family that had, hey, good afternoon, Jackie. Maybe you came from a family that had doctors and dentists or musicians or musical teachers, gospel music teachers. Maybe you had that. Some people didn't. The late Dr. Martin Luther King said you got to have a dream. Another way of saying it, you got to have a vision. If people don't have a dream or a vision, they will perish. They have to have a goal that they can see ahead of them, and they have to be able to see that goal clearly in order to attain what they want to attain. So when you think of these things, who is around us to help us stay motivated? Sometimes I didn't understand why my mother would say, don't worry about what others say about you. She knew it was going to be hard because you're going to school every day and the kids are cooking up things and they're listening on adult conversations and then they're taking that to school, and lo and behold, it could be about you, your mother, your father. You don't know. But there's something I was watching today earlier through my phone when I got up this morning. And I always flip through to see if I can find any motivational speaking or something that's positive. And there was the former professional football player, also played baseball while he was playing football, and that was Deion Sanders, a guy that never drank alcohol. That's why his skin is so clear. A guy that never smoked a cigarette, never smoked a joint, never even smoked a cigar. But he knew inside he could make it. He knew how to promote himself, prime time, right? Do anything to get his name out there. But one of the things he said in this little short clip, it was only a part of something much bigger. I believe he was being, since he's now at Colorado State College, he left the HBC college and universities where he was coaching down there. I think Southern University, Southern College, and he went over to Colorado. And his goal is really not to stay but so long in all these places, but to be able to keep the minds of the youth lit in their mind with opportunity. That's the foremost thing that he was saying, which really is a part of what I'm talking about here. How many of us get up in the morning and look at ourselves, a reflection that we see, the human self, and can get beyond the human image of ourselves to see that we're just two eyes staring back at ourselves? There's something on the inside that gravitates us to see ourselves. There's something that's watching over us. There's some things that are watching over us, some things that are surrounding us to kind of keep us out of harm's way, keep us out of trouble, keep us on track. One of the things Deion Sanders said, because he was talking to the news media, and I guess they were saying, "Hey, you're rooting, you're this football coach for this Colorado team. They ain't won no games. How you expect to help them?" He says, "Look, I'm not even playing professional sports, and you all have something negative to say about me." That's what he was saying in so many words. That he's no longer playing professional sports, but they're constantly talking about him, the news media. He said, I'm not even walking on the field strapped up in a uniform as a professional athlete, professional football player, and you're still talking about me. He said, but that's okay. You are not making me. Your stories about me just roll off my back. They don't make me. The God source energy, God made me. We might say God source, universal divine mind, divine heart. He said that's what made me. That's what gives me the life to go ahead, one step at a time. He is saying in so many words to the younger people that he's coaching, don't let naysayers and people beyond your immediate circle try to steer you off your path. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that come into this spiritual path where it's a way of life for many of us, and it's just a game for others. It's just a weekend thing. I remember when I lived on Long Island, and I was invited to this private house in Garden City, New York. It's a pretty much well-off community, if you know what it is, if you look it up. And I was invited there to do my creative pathwork meditations and read people, give them a little snippet about themselves and where they need to go. And when this person asked one of their students to give me a lift home, the guy asked me while he's driving me home. Takes about a half hour because he's dropping off some other people. I think he wanted me to be the last person to drop off because he had some specific questions to ask. But one of the most important questions he asked is, "Wow, everybody got a lot out of what you were sharing with us tonight. The meditations, guided meditations, the spiritual insight." So he goes, "But what do you really do?" I said, "What?" He says, "What's your real job?" I started to laugh. He said, "What's so funny?" I said, "This is a part of my real job. I do this 7 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day, sometimes 15. This is what I'm made to do. This is where my heart is helping people." Well, I looked up, you ain't got no website, but I looked up and I saw that you love art. So are you an artist? I said, yeah, I have artistic abilities. Have you sold any art? I said, yeah, privately. I don't need to be out in a public venue, street festival, just to sell art. Somebody can come by where I was living and buy the art that I got right there. So he said, well, what else do you do? I said, I played some music with bands and I used to back up other singers, sometimes professionally. But I knew my heart wasn't there. So he said, so you mean to tell me you can make a living doing this? And I said to him, why not? I said, that's like telling a child that has a dream in their heart to tell them, well, ain't nobody in our family ever been a swimmer, never been a ice skater, never been a this. So why you want to be that? You got an aunt, or uncle, or a cousin that's doing it? Well, we have certain things in our genes, in our DNA that's passed along. I could have gone out and been a performance artist, musician, because my older brother, he's a professional jazz drummer. I could have tried out acting because I have two cousins that I know about who are actors. One is the Richard Roundtree. His mother is my mother's first cousin, a Roundtree, and my grandmother's last name is Roundtree. Roundtree, Cherokee name. So if I wanted to pursue acting, it's in my genes. If I wanted to pursue being a minister, it's in my genes because there's ministers on both sides of the family. See, we already have these things embedded in us. We just have to decide which one to take out of the magical bag that we're going to use. We decide when to use them, but the universe may know better. Your higher self embedded in the universe may know that it's your time to walk away from a job where you're making 60,000, 160,000, 250,000. Maybe your net is something like 300,000, but you're not happy there. I forget which comedian said this, but in fact, it wasn't a comedian. It was the motivational speaker known as Les Brown, the motivator from Detroit, who lived in Detroit, who tried his hand in politics and everything else. But he used to say don't, to the salespeople, he says, you get up some days, you just don't feel like getting up. And when you get up in the morning, you just want to be someplace, do something different. He said, you get in your car with your attache case or whatever, your uniform, doesn't matter, janitor, porter, you name it, or maybe you're a chef in the kitchen, whatever. Maybe you're a tech agent, whatever, doesn't matter. He said, but you're getting tired of that job, of that particular lifestyle, because inside you want to do something different, something that will make a difference. He said, so sometimes after sitting in traffic for a long time, and you're going up and you take the exit and you're going down this road and another road, and now you're coming upon the place that you work at. He would say, sometimes don't you feel like just riding past there? Maybe pulling into the parking lot, riding around the back, come out the other side, and keep going. Don't you often feel like that? So you might wonder, what is it that I need to do to make some changes? So here's some ideas. The key words in this topic or key phrases are feel like being. Well, feel like being what? Your feelings override your thoughts in every moment when you truly desire a thing or a situation, person, or event as an outcome to happen in a very positive way. The next two words, right now, because the question is, what do you feel like, or who do you feel like being right now? So, right now, that's like a command. You want to be in the present moment. You want to receive in this current moment, and current is also present, but current like currency and the energy of now. And then in this thing, it goes every feeling we have is a key element of our remembrance. Every feeling is a key element. Feelings carry higher energy. The late Reverend Ike used to say, let the feeling get the blessing. Hey, good afternoon, East Samara Woods. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I will. You know, these things that we're doing, we're lit. Just like Ms. Wood says, on fire, lit. Sometimes I get so lit, I get overwhelmed. But I'm like everybody else. Sometimes I have a tear. Sometimes I have sadness. Sometimes I just don't know where my head is at sometimes. But it's okay. Why? Because I have another moment to change. Our remembrance is the key to living, being, doing, and having. We have to live, right? We have to learn how to live, relive something, do something different. And we have to do it in such a way that we're not being afraid to do it. I had a client, young guy, call me today, and he was doing something with Instagram, and he was doing some, I'm not want to say what his particular art craft that he's doing, but he learned this art craft from somebody else. But now the person that he learned it to is angry with him and angry with the other people. And what it really boils down to is the guy that taught them how to do this stuff, when he first taught them how to do this stuff, he didn't put a block out that says, I don't want you to be successful. He was teaching it for them to be successful. And now that all his students are highly successful, the teacher is upset. And what did this teacher do to him? The teacher went and blocked his account on Instagram, went over there and said something to Instagram that caused Instagram to suspend his account a couple of months ago temporarily. Now it's supposed to be permanent. Why? And I told my client, I said, look, you have a right to fight this based on principle alone. You have a right to fight this because you have text messages that you have kept where the guy has said certain things to you. Then you went to your attorney. Your attorney said, this guy doesn't have a ground to stand on. I said, now's the time for you to stand on the ground. People only attack you when you got the it factor. People only attack you when they can feel you're about to surpass them. People plagiarize your work because they know that you have something important to say in this world at this moment. I used to think, why are these people messing with me so much? Well, I lived in Long Island in New Jersey. I said, why are they always picking on me? These people got mansions that they live in. Why are they stealing my stuff? They got mansions and private jets. Why are they picking on me? And someone who used to be a part of one of them groups, I ran into them, and that person said, well, you got the it factor. I said, the what? You got the it factor. That means you have something special to do in this world. And they can see it, but you can't see it yet. You're not sure what you're looking at when you look at yourself. I was devastated. I'm saying I have nothing compared to these people. Nothing. I don't have fancy cars. I got to take the subway, the bus, or the train like everybody else. But they're jealous at me. They live in mansions, but they're jealous of me and people like me. And I meet other people like me who experience the same thing. So here's the conclusion. It's actually a compliment. Somebody takes one of my 6 books. I'm working on 7, 8, 9. That's the manuscript, 7, 8, 9. Somebody's always going to take something out of these books and claim it as their own. So you know what? My response is I don't have to go after them legally. All I got to do is keep writing books. All I got to do is keep creating courses and classes and workshops based on my books. That's all I have to do. Keep moving ahead. Why? Because sooner or later, a finite mind that cannot comprehend infinite things, and that's a quote from when I was involved in a particular movement that borrowed it from another book. A finite mind, a limited mind, cannot comprehend the infinity that exists in you. People will copy you. Why? Because they can't create anything. When I first got on TikTok, I have my book, Dancing in the Light of Divine Grace, as a banner on my door that my sister friend helped put on my bedroom door. And I stood in front of it and took a selfie. And I was wearing my golden halo blue, royal blue fedora when I took the picture. Somebody cloned the picture because I'm on TikTok as Pyramid One and then the word sun. What did that person do? Pyramid One sun and put a 0 at the end of it, but using my image. So I had to go online when I found it because I just woke up in the middle of the night in January of 2020 and saw it. So I had to go online, screenshot it, and put some wordings up saying this is not the original Pyramid One Sun. This is someone copying me. And this is how you know that they're copying me, because they take the words that I put underneath my picture and they misspell a word. And what did the person had the nerve to do when I went on their site before I deleted them or went to block them? They lifted some of my 2-minute and 3-minute videos onto their page. A couple of people did that. And I says, why? Create something that came out of your own mind. But I calmed down. And what did I do? The person hadn't put my picture in a locked format on their TikTok page. So I clicked on the ellipses, which is the 3 dots, and went in there and removed my short videos while they are sound asleep. They had 3 of them. I removed them. Then I turned around and reported them. Then I turned around and blocked them. Then I went back to mine and readjusted the settings so no one can lift my videos and put them in their video. Sometimes you have to do that. But sometimes it's annoying because I'm a one-person team. If I had 5 or 10 people that I was trusting on that level, hey, I can let them go in there and correct my page. But I say all of that to say that there are many people on the planet, many people around you, who are not original thinkers and therefore are not original doers. They're too busy duplicating someone else's work. They are the copycat. That's what they want to take something that you have, try to redraw it, do whatever, and then claim it as their own. Why? Because they're too darn lazy to be original. So my remedy is teach what I know and more. Write about it, publish it. Because you know what? They don't have any books out. They have no pamphlets out. They have no printed down formats known as PDFs. They don't have their own podcasts going on. They're not even on Facebook. They're not even on YouTube. They are nowhere to be found. Always there will be someone attacking you. People in black churches say the devil's always after you. Then you wake up and find out the devil don't exist. So what is after you? Sometimes your own thoughts, your own fears, your own doubts. But beloved Akhenaten says you're an open doorway, and sometimes you have miscreated your ego. Well, darn it, you can turn around and unmiscreate the ego and cause it to come up in you under your divine aegis of the grace that you were born with, and cause you to be what? Walk out your own victory. That's my message for today. When you ask yourself and you look in the mirror, who do you feel like being right now? The answer should be, I feel like being myself. Sly Stone said it. Thank you for letting me be myself again. It's right there in the R&B music. Thank you for letting me be myself again. Because yourself is connected to the divine source. Yourself is locked into the earth, Gaia. Yourself is a part of the frequency. Yourself is a part of the quantum frequency. Yourself is a fractal self that is infinite. And it just keeps going and going and on. But each time you add a little bit more seasoning to what you're doing, and it turns into something else. Remember, remembrance is key to living first, then being, then doing, and then having. Reverend Ike used to say that, be, do, and have. But in order to be, do, and have, you got to align your consciousness with what you want. Then all things will start to come to you. Well, I want to give you some announcements. Today, right now at Resident Essentials, located at 3107 Eubank Boulevard Northeast in the Scottsdale Shopping Village, right off the corner of Candelaria Boulevard that runs north and west, or Candelaria Road that runs excuse me, east and west. Right there, we have Liliana Rondon. She's in the middle of probably doing a lunch and learn. She's one of our new healing practitioners, and she teaches you how to take care of yourself with natural herbs and working with salts and creating salt baths. I just took a class with her a couple of Saturdays ago and learned how to make my own salt bath. Didn't know I could do it. She had all the ingredients for us to do it. Learn how to make a coffee scrub for my skin. She's a phenomenal person. And she has a sweet heart and she has a warrior spirit at the same time. Her business is called Jaguarina Apothecary. And she's right here in the Old Town area of Albuquerque, New Mexico. All right. She's there today from 11 to 6. Walk in and get to meet her. Also today from about 10 a.m., I think, all the way up to 4 or 5 p.m. today is our resident essentials astrologer by the name of Johanna Rader, who's been into astrology since she was 10 years old. And she's in her 30s now. So she's been working it and she teaches it. Tomorrow, Friday, August 11th, 2023, and that's an awesome day because that's my late mother, Mother Grace's birthday. And it reminds me on 2017 of August 11th, the Friday, I threw my first book party for my book, Dancing in the Light of Divine Grace. Well, tomorrow at Resonant Essentials from 10 a.m. to probably maybe 12 noon, there will be an in person group mentoring for spiritual practitioners, healers, and consultants. And that will be offered by Barbara Porcelain. Barbara Porcelain is a business coach here in Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, New Mexico. She helps a lot of people uh, kind of get your business out of the closet. We also have the reader for the day for tomorrow from 10 a.m. to about 5 p.m. will be Lauren of Lolo's Tarot. And she's an awesome person, very nice young person, but knows how to read her cards. And the healer for tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. will be Rosie Navarro or Michelle Vidal. All right, and they're two awesome people. In fact, Michelle Vidal is the owner of Resonant Essentials. On Saturday, the 12th of 2023 in August, I'll be there giving my Creative Pathwork meditation series classes. Classes are just $10 for 1 hour of instruction and discussion and question and answering. That I'll be there tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Now, if you want to get a seat, we have plenty of chairs. If you want to get a seat, arrive about 7 minutes before we get started because we usually lock the door at about 11:35 so we don't have any interference because I like to take the students very deep into meditation. Then, when my class is over, there's a 30-minute break. And then from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, August the 12th, the same date, will be Ions of Albuquerque. Ions is short for Institute of Noetic Sciences. I used to be a member online like for 5, 6 years ago, over 10 years ago. That's when I heard about Dr. Bruce Wheel, and Dr. Robert Chilton, and all these different people, right, that you're hearing about now and seeing, and Dr. Joseph Dispenza. That's when I first heard about a lot of these people. Ions of Albuquerque, they also have a chapter up in Santa Fe, Institute of Noetic Sciences. Now, when they come there, they have a woman there. Her name is Annie Mattingly, and she wrote a book called After Death Chronicles. So it's about after death experiences, right? Now, donations are optional, and it's hosted by Resident Essentials because it's being done right there. It's from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And if you're in the area, if you missed the meditation, come on in for that. Why? Because they pack a lot of people, get a lot of questions answered. Then on Sunday, the 13th of August of 2023, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m., admission is free. We have our monthly Psychic and Healing Fair. Our monthly Psychic and Healing Fair normally takes place on the second Sunday of each month. Admission is free, but the prices for us as readers and practitioners have changed. So you're going to have to come from table to table and see what we now charge, but it's not that much higher. Okay, we just want to let you know that we're there. Maybe you come there for the first time and just meet some of the practitioners. Maybe you're not comfortable getting a reading. You can walk around and chit chat for a minute or two if we're not busy. That's the announcement I wanted to give out. Again, thank you so much for your time. I'll be here next Thursday, hopefully, at the same time, which is 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, and 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, so be sure to clock in. You can always come here to Resonant Essentials YouTube channel, look at some of the past things, not only what I have chosen to talk about, but what other people talk about. You have an awesome day, a good day, a magical day, a sweet day, and be your unconditional self. Be love. Embrace that. Respect yourself. Love yourself more, and just be more of you. Okay. My grace is your grace. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. Thank you, Jackie Fillmore, Antoine, for watching. Thank you, E. Samara Woods, for watching. Thanks for anybody else that was in here watching. People are signing out now. Before I sign out, maybe no, I don't have to put the topic. I'll just say thank you to everybody. Okay, and I'm going to sign off. I'm on an intermittent fasting, and I'm 40 minutes late for mealtime. Take care, everybody. I look forward to seeing you next week. And if you're here in the city of Albuquerque, New Mexico, I hope to see you Saturday for meditation at 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. I'm staying later for the Ions Albuquerque event, and I'll be in there Sunday for the Psychic Fair. Admission is free from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. We're just charging a little differently now. All right, take care, everybody. Be well and be yourself. Thank you so much.